Throughout our lives, our experiences are imprinted on our mind. A beautiful day at the beach, a laugh with friends, the smell of spring. Memories are as much a gift for some as they are a curse for others. In times of struggle, we rely on our fond memories to comfort us, using our nostalgia like a warm blanket. But so often, when it comes to our darker memories, we repress them to protect ourselves, locking them away in hopes that we no longer have to feel the pain or the guilt they cause. But what happens to those memories locked away? Do they truly disappear, fading with time? Or do they fester like an open wound without treatment? Do they evolve into something worse, something tangible? And if they do, and the time comes where we have to face those memories, are we strong enough? Hi, I'm your host Z-Man, and welcome to The Stash. Today, we'll be talking spoiler-free about Hidden Field's folk survival horror experience, Mundaun. Mundaun is a hard game to classify. It is, in its rawest form, a survival horror game, but it's more than that. So rarely does a developer attempt to blur the lines between art and video game in such a unique way, and while I feel the title Unique Experience often gets tossed around to rope in audiences as essentially clickbait, I can truly say Mundaun is a very unique experience. Hidden Field set out to try something completely different, and in that respect, I feel they succeeded. But stick around and decide for yourself. Our protagonist is a man named Kurdin, who receives a letter that his grandfather has died back in his hometown of Mundaun in the Swiss Alps. The letter states that he needn't return, but something seems wrong, and indeed enough so that you've decided to investigate the untimely death for yourself. As you return to your childhood home, you'll find more questions than anyone is prepared to give answers to. Something sinister stalks the inhabitants of this once peaceful mountain village. You'll have to make your way up the mountain and uncover the truth behind this town and your grandfather's shrouded past to learn the truth. No doubt, as you've probably already realized, the art style of Mundaun is very different. In fact, every texture is completely hand-penciled by its sole developer. This gives the game such a unique visual aesthetic, and for me, it feels like it highlights not only the age of the story, but also the feeling of a memory itself, defined only by its most notable characteristics, with its many shades of color feeling left to interpretation. One of the most beautiful and meta examples of this is your in-game journal, which acts as a collection of notes you find throughout the game, compiling what pieces of story you have so far, memories, cryptic images, puzzle hints, and also your cleverly drawn stats. I truly can't stress enough how striking this game's visual storytelling can be at times. The use of shadows to not only depict the past, but also a possible future for our protagonist is absolutely stunning, and at times I would find myself repeating tasks just to experience those moments again. Mundaun controls like a typical first-person experience. Directional controls, interaction, and attacking. To raise your stats, you'll find food to increase your health, find rifle manuals to increase accuracy, and one of my favorite aspects is to find the ingredients and brew coffee to increase your resistance to fear. As I stated above, you'll compile notes and objectives in your journal and place items in your backpack inventory. While we never do spoilers here in the stash, I will give these two pieces of advice. Stealth is your friend, as supplies are limited and you are frequently outnumbered by enemies. And in terms of objectives, check your items often. You can get easily turned around or a bit lost as to what to do next if you aren't examining each new item you receive. With that being said, these things are actually the two things I would have liked to see developed a bit more. The enemy AI is hard to understand at times, and in terms of objective, I found myself lost on 3 separate occasions and ended up running around trying to figure out what I missed. Mundaun's story heavily draws from folklore, and in doing so sets an amazing tone to the narrative, but also as an American, I found myself asking a lot of questions as to the origins of certain inspirations or traditions. However, it also sparked a curiosity that often draws me to indie titles to begin with, so I would say it's a strength of this title. I know some people may have an aversion to that kind of storytelling, so consider this your warning. I should also mention that while the game has subtitles in multiple languages, it is voice acted completely in Romansh, a language that is only spoken in a specific area of the Alps. However, I think this only increases the immersion. Mundaun aims to be something different, and in my opinion, truly succeeds. Its horror isn't based on traditional tropes or jump scares, but more in an ambiance that simply has to be experienced to understand. With a 6 to 8 hour runtime and upwards at 5 different endings, it will truly stick with you and leave you asking the question, if you had the power to dive into memory and change the past, would you? Should you? I promise you'll be disappointed if you don't find out for yourself. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed yourself, please consider subscribing to the channel. We put out new reviews every Friday. And if you'd like to come hang with me and watch me play some of these spooky games, head on over to twitch.tv/zmanstache. Z-Man, S-T-A-C-H-E. Stay spooky, and I'll see you soon.